the curiosity, inquisitiveness connects very well to the quote that you showed earlier, because a lot of times if students are not directly involved, then the curiosity that they had initially starts to be stamped out. It starts to disappear. And they lose that attitude of being inquisitive about whatever you're trying to teach them. So a lot of times I might initially present a topic for, say, like in science, kinetic and potential energy. And I could talk about it, and they might be very curious about it. And I could even show a video about it, and that might stimulate their curiosity even more. And I could do a demonstration, and that might get them even more curious about it. But if I don't directly involve them, they're going to lose all that curiosity eventually. It's just going to fizzle out. So eventually I have to let them get involved in the problem, right? And let them try to solve it and explore and try it for themselves. And then when they get a chance to show their own demonstration of what potential and kinetic energy is, what's the difference between the two, then their curiosity begins to soar, because then they're up there, they're doing it, they're showing it, all their friends are getting excited, and their hands are, it's hands-on. And so I think those two things, this particular statement and the quote before, is very intimately connected and very important.
Actually, you can say relies on the students in their curiosity and inquisitiveness, which will allow them to explore, something like that, and so many things like, the environment, involve themselves in the alternative energy source. In science, we have so many things that we can let our students learn. Ecology, something like that.
And I think another key word you have there is innate, meaning it's inside of us, right? It's our natural desire to want to know. And sometimes, as teachers, we don't realize, or we don't have the attitude that our students actually want to learn this. And sometimes those feelings come across to the students, and we don't realize that that's their internal desire. They want to understand it. They want to do it. They want to jump in and get involved. And when we allow them to do that, then, that their excitement just explodes, and they really, the learning really begins to happen.
As if they don't want to stop anymore. They don't want to stop thinking. Okay, thank you for that.
I want to make a comment here, because this is something that I don't know if you guys, some of you may have noticed this already, but if you didn't, I want to make sure that they all notice what just happened here in the last couple of minutes. Because David made a connection between 2 or 3 ideas. Now, I'm sure all of you picked up on what he was talking about. That obviously was pretty clear. I think his ideas were clear. But I'm not sure if you were able to realize why he did that or not, or why he was able to do it. But I can tell you, and here I will sort of instruct a little bit directly, the reason he was able to do that is because of the fact that, I don't know if you noticed or not, but the last 4 or 5 slides that we've seen, each had one idea or one quote on them, right? And then we spent some time talking about each of them, Evan leading the discussion, but we talked for maybe a few minutes about each of them. But what that did is it made the ideas clear enough in your mind, because your mind was not crowded by a lot of information on any one slide. So these 3 or 4 different sets of ideas in sequence were clear to you, and as a result of that clarity, David was able to say, you know what, this connects back to the comment that was up there earlier, and then he was able to provide us with some more ideas based on that. But I want you guys to notice that when you're trying to get students to engage with you and discuss with you and discover some ideas on their own, that's one of the ways you can do it, is by decreasing the amount of content that you're putting up for discussion, even on a slideshow. That's obviously a pretty direct method of teaching that she's using right now, with slides and with discussion. I mean, we're not generating the topics, she's generating them. But even with that kind of method of instruction, still by putting small amounts on each slide and discussing each one, there's more interaction. In other words, the simplicity, what do you want to do? You want to put in your own ideas. That's what you want to do. It's a natural tendency. You want to fill that space with some ideas of your own. And that's why this technique works so well. Okay, continue.
Yes, actually what you said, Dr. Andy, is really very true because now we have this one disadvantage that I forgot to put it in my slide. It's like overloading of information to the students. It's not really good because what will happen, it's like a bridge full of people and cars, you know, and just imagine after so many years, people keep going and going to that bridge, what will happen? It will collapse, right? So it's similar to the brains of people, like the students that we have. Sometimes it will just stop. It will just stop. Suddenly you don't notice it.